So I think I have a very unique channel, you know what I mean? Because my channel comprises of like people who have very, very long marriages. And I'm not talking about like 1 and 2 year marriage. I'm talking about marriages that have been lasting for a while, maybe like 20, 30 years, you know what I mean? You have people on my channel with that, and that are from the black community. And I figure we can kind of jump into Iman's interview because Iman was recently married to Teyanna Taylor. Y'all know that, that's no surprise. And they got a divorce. And of course, yes, a lot of black people just aren't marrying anymore. You know what I mean? But they used to get married. People used to get married. Let's jump into this.
You want more kids?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have more kids.
You gonna have more?
Oh yeah.
You want a boy? You want a boy? You want a junior?
I gotta have it. That's why I'm gonna have more kids. I gotta get it. I gotta get it. I got.
So for those who watch the actual Country Wayne show, and you know what I mean, they're watching and they see Shayla, and Shayla is talking about kids and all of that. And yes, he is saying he wants more kids. So maybe for the show, they might put him on to a place where, you know what I mean, like he has more kids. So we don't know. But it's always Iman.
Get it. Gotta have it. More girls is cool too. I don't really care, but we go until we get that boy.
Okay. What about this? Marriage.
I don't know if I'll do it legally. Like I don't want to sign papers and all that. Like we gonna do a contract. We gonna do a contract owning something that we both trying to do anyway.
Right.
Like, I'd rather the contract be about a business. I don't. If my mama at the wedding, we got married.
A lot of men are starting to think like this, and a lot of women also aren't really marrying as well too. For whatever reason it is, you know, some women decide they have like a bunch of lists. There's a list of exactly what they want in terms of from a marriage, and so of course, a lot of people in our black community is not able to provide that. Like, because I mean, our salary is what it is. It's not like we make, you know, the vast amount of anything else. If you look at like the median household income, you're probably talking about, for blacks, you maybe are talking about say $53,000. Don't quote me on that, but it's somewhere in that kind of range. I know in the upper range, maybe like the 70s is where you'd find like white people and say Asian. But yeah, that's what's been going on. A lot of the excuse about marriage is that, you know, men aren't able to, you know, do what they could have done. You know, they can't provide as much as before, you know, but some men also believe that they are going to be tricked, meaning that, you know, they get into this marriage and the lady's not going to behave like she would behave before and things is going to change. So I guess that's something that you can kind of look into. Maybe men are thinking that marriages are set up at this point in time. A lot of men have been saying this these days, that marriages are set up. Our ancestors didn't really think that way, but these days people are saying that.
What have you learned about relationships that you didn't know?
I say the biggest thing I learned is like when you get married, you think it's like a new level of love, and it ain't. A lot of people think you get married and now like she finna love you way more on the other side of this, and it's like hell no. The real love, that honeymoon love, whatever honeymoon stage.
Yeah.
The honeymoon stage is it's not love, it's like.
He makes sense. In the mind of a man, it is thought to be that, you know, you're trying to give this woman the world and you're trying to do everything you can do for her. You give her the best wedding, you give her the best ring, you go all out for this woman, right? And so you're expecting that experience of a wedding day, because if you probably have seen like, you know, content online where women are telling you the things that them want at the wedding and how they want the wedding to look, and you're thinking that this is actually going to have this big impact on this woman and she's going to love you for a lifetime, and then, you know, 2-3 years after, she's miserable and she's ready to get out of the marriage and is looking forward to seeing exactly if she can take some money from you, because that's what some men think. You know what I mean? I've had a discussion on my channel with the ladies. I'm saying, hey, you know, they have to put up their little rainy day fund because they don't want the men just to be leaving them with nothing at all. And I said, well, I'm not sure. These days, more than anything else, you will find the man basically being bled dry as much as possible because the judges don't play. I would want to believe that. I mean, look at Iman's situation. You know what I mean? Because Iman was married and you saw exactly that Teyanna Taylor got a lot of things, like a lot of concessions. So it's not like I'm out here making anything up. But if y'all don't rock with that and y'all feel that, you know what I mean, hey, O'Neal, you know, I don't believe that that's what's going on, you can comment in the comment that, you know what, O'Neal, no, that's not what it really is. Really and truly, you know, women get left with nothing and men leave with all of their money. If that's what y'all think, I don't believe so, but if that's what y'all think, hey, you put that in the chat.
I'm thinking like when you get the ring, you do this, it's like you finna get a whole new bounce in your step.
Right.
It's like, hell no, ain't nothing gonna change.
I don't think he's off on that, guys. I don't think he's off on that. And the ladies, hear me out. How black men are experiencing, a lot of black women, is that they get this marriage and basically they get very, very comfortable in the marriage. They don't want to do the things that they used to do before. However they used to dress, that's about that. I think I saw a podcast and a lady say, yeah, sure. I mean, she did that, but no, she's not going to cook like she used to cook before. It's almost like, okay, let's say she used to cook you 4 meals before y'all get married. Now you get married, you're probably cooking 2 or maybe 1 or starting to tell you need to order out. You need to be looking for Burger King and KFC and McDonald's. Or be taking her out more than anything else. You know what I mean? That's exactly how men are experiencing a lot of things. And again, maybe a woman can start, pinpoint in the chat how you are experiencing black men. But that's what a lot of black men are getting from women. They're getting that it's more about the bag than anything else. If you even look at the Anton Daniels and the Mika situation, you know what I mean, and how people are reacting to that, and they're reacting to the mere fact that Mika have a husband, but she's out here being flown out to Detroit, then you'll find out kind of what I'm saying.
It's a piece of paper. I think I'm done adjusting now. I'm being for real though. Like,
how you gonna be in a situation you talking about you done adjusting?
All right, so I know it probably sound crazy, but I'm trying to speed up the process of us getting to know each other. Like, if I'm dealing with a woman, it's like, you finna see it all day. Like, okay. I'm not finna put on, like, I ain't told a lie and I don't know how long, but I will have to have 2-3 months separated from a person because they feel like in that moment, you ain't have to tell me that.
All right. I think I get where Iman is going. The whole idea of sugarcoating things. There's a lot of sugarcoating and a lot of babying that happens now in society. It's almost like men aren't able anymore to tell women, well, society has always kind of tried to protect the woman's feelings. I think that's what he's talking about. The whole idea of us protecting the woman's feelings. Where, let me give you an example. And I know you might hold me to the card, but if a man may say a woman may need to get some exercise, him can't tell her.
Did you feel like running, Norman? Why don't you run down the rib shack and get me a short stack of ribs?
You know what I mean? Him can't tell her, hey, she's getting a little bit too big, work on, you know what I mean, the weight or so. Back then, you could have, hint that to a woman, hey, babe, maybe I think you probably need to start hitting the gym, get your fitness back up. And she probably wouldn't mind because, she was more interested in making sure that she moves and she saw the health benefits of it. No. People are more inclined to call that body shaming.
You ain't had to say that. Right. You ain't had to, you know what I mean? That was harsh, but it's like, nah, I'm done lying. Like, it's been where a woman has tried to tell me to know my worth and what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm like, oh no, I'm worth doing what I just did. However I did it, if it's an error in your mind, that's cool, but I'm no longer discussing errors in your shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you process it like that, you process it like that. But it's like, for me, I'm done feeling bad after you tell me you don't like it.
So y'all capture that. In other words, him don't want to feel bad for the mere fact that he's, telling you exactly the truth. For example, body counts. Body counts. That's one of the perfect examples. When men now call out promiscuity in women, like, for example, they'll say, hey, you don't want this guy or you don't want these 5 guys, but you have these 5 guys. Why do you have them? Why not wait for the guy you actually want? Women will say, well, why are we body shaming? Why are we body shaming as to what they count? It's like asking women what they bring to the table.
I've never encountered a guy, or at least entertained someone who has sat there and asked me, what do you bring to the table?
The funny thing is we used to be married at a very high rate. So I did a little tiny research, of course, with ChatGPT and tried to see if I could cite some sources. The US, Census Bureau is one of the sources, the National Center for Family and Marriage Research. Hey, if you think you have better things, but nonetheless, I tried to kind of do like a synthetic research on this and look at this. I want y'all to pay attention to this. White and Black Americans had similarly high marriage levels, like 60 to 70%, between say 1940 and 1960. I want y'all to pay attention to that. Between 1970 and 1990, marriage declined across all groups but fell fastest among Black Americans. I want y'all to pay attention to this. 2000 to present, We now are down to about 33 to about say 36%. So we're down half as to where we were before. That's what I think. Something is wrong with that. Because every other group has kind of maintained what's different about us. So much so that we basically declined as far as marriages are concerned. The women then and the women now are two different sets of women. But each time we say it, people come out and say, well, the men then and the men now. In other words, it's like a backhanded. In other words, they don't try to kind of dig in to see kind of some of what you're saying. What was different about the women then that made them want to get married versus how women don't want to get married now? Is the question I'm asking. And what was it different about the men, then versus now? Men now will tell you they don't like the fact that they get women with high body count. Back then, when you get a woman, you probably would get a more virtuous woman. In other words, she doesn't have multiple partners, she'd have less partners, and so you kind of felt like you had something special. You had something special fighting for because she wasn't all around the place and all around the block. Right? Back then, you also had more families where, they were having kids as a family. So things worked then. Not when I say you didn't have infidelity, because don't get me wrong, friends. We all know that infidelity has been there. But I'm just kind of giving you some inkling into things. Now you have, more promiscuity across the populace. But I just want you to look at this, the long run comparative conclusion. 1940, marriage was high across all demographics. 1970, 1990, and remember that we got the Civil Rights Act. What was it? Come on, guys, quote me. The Civil Rights Act. No, nonetheless, the Civil Rights Act came after 1940. After the Civil Rights Act, notice how we fell down. From 2000 to present, we even fell even more. Why? That, I think, is my big question. My big question is, what has happened to us as a people? Like, what happened? Why are we down and everybody else are up? What's different about us? Were we always like this? Were black people always not having marriages and thinking poorly about marriages and thinking that men was not good and having what is being said now and thinking of this is trash and that's trash? Were we having that? And is it the same across like the other ethnicities? Is it the same? Right? Because man is a man. There's no difference. Are we saying then that, black men are different from, other men? In other words, what exactly is the cause of that? And as y'all can see, based on the research I just showed y'all, you really look into it and you realize that we all had the same rates between about, 1940 and about 1960. And then after there, everything just kind of fell down for our community. So what is it about 1960 or 1970 up to now that is not going right for men in our community? That is a question. Because whatever that is, it is causing the marriage not to work. It's causing marriage rates in our community just not to happen. That's the biggest thing. I think I'm trying to figure that out. And of course, you can see how it would affect, for example, like the median household income argument. Because of course, it's better to have like two people, working in a home versus one person. I mean, it's always going to be better, which is why, again, the whole idea of what do you bring to the table is a good question. I mean, if put it this way, if I make $50,000 and you make $50,000, what's wrong with us combining the income together? And I've heard women like bash against this entirely, and they'll tell you, well, if you have to pay 50%, then, and I'm like, well, wouldn't it be better for you to actually pay 50% of the bills versus paying 100% by yourself?
I'm not ever coming 50-50 with no man.
But then they'll start to go into the whole idea, well, you see, if I'm paying 50%, then I'm going to have equal, and, the man can't tell me anything at all. And then I'm like, well, so in other words, the money basically is where the respect lies, is what I'm saying. And one of the things I've always seen, well, what I've come to realize while being here, I've seen other ethnicities where the man doesn't make as much, but he's still, hold on friends, he still is treated as the man. Nonetheless, the money don't matter. The lady don't give him that. I'm just saying, I've observed this. One particular one was where the female was a lawyer and the man was a driver. Look at those two things. Driver don't take a bunch of degrees or anything at all. Female was a lawyer, but she still treated him just like him was a king nonetheless, and she still took care of him. But I'm just kind of giving you, I'm just kind of giving you that, hey, the same things that we have exist also in the other ethnicities. So what is causing our ethnicity, right, meaning the black community, what is causing us to say, you know what, forget about it? Is it money? Is it time? Is it independence? But then before 1960, I mean, most women never have the same right, just the same. I mean, you know, and I do understand that there are different levels of rights because the truth is that white women had different rights than, say, a black woman would have. It is what it is. Let's call a spade a spade. We all know that. We all know that portion of the puzzle. So that's also there. Is it that? Right? What is the contributing factor to that? I think that's the answer we're looking for. Because there is an obvious, like I've shown you before, there is an obvious difference. There's an obvious difference in the numbers. Something has caused the numbers to fall. What is it? I think that's the question I'm asking. But give me a take. I'm looking forward to your take, friends. It's a wonderful discussion. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm going to talk to you all soon.